Welcome to Kippy C Math! Today, we're going to find the halfway mark between two benchmarks, like between two numbers that we are really familiar with. And to figure out this halfway, we have Bruno here to help us because taking half of birthday cakes is the most fun, and Bruno has been to a lot of birthday parties lately. We've been talking about benchmarks that are numbers between, like we've been saying, 14 is between 10 and 20. Or 128 is between 120 and 130. We've been talking about the benchmarks. Now we're going to find the number that's right in the middle, that's right halfway. Halfway is important because it means there's the same amount on this side as there is on this side. And we're going to use that to help us round the next lesson. So we're trying to find the number right in the middle. To do that, we're going to have to have some birthday cakes. Because here's the thing. This little hedgehog has a little birthday cake. And this big golden retriever has a much bigger birthday cake. If I take half of this little cake, it is not the same as taking half of a big cake. Half is not the same no matter what. Half depends on what you're taking half of. So for example, half of 10, half of 100, half of 1,000, those are not all going to be the same. Let's think about what they are going to be. Because we're going to have number lines where the benchmark is 10, like 10 to 20, or where the benchmark is, or where the numbers are 130 to 140, or even 219,670 to 219,680. All of those have 10 in between. Let's imagine that 10 gets split in half. Half of 10 is 5. So we would have 5 as the halfway mark here. 5 more than 10 would be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Or half of 10 is 5. There's 10 in between here. So that would be 5 more than 130, 135. Or still half of 10 is 5. There's 10 in between 70 and 80. So this would be 219,675. That's half of 10. Just like the birthday cakes, that's different than half of 100. Let's imagine now we have number lines split by hundreds. 100 and 200, 2,300, 2,400, or 219,600, 2,019,700. All of these have 100 in between them. So we have to think of half of 100. That's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Half of 100 is 50. So half on these number lines would be 50 from the next number. 150, or here from 2,300 would be 2,350. For from here it would be 219,650. Because the distance between each number was 100, the halfway mark was half of 150. Then let's think of 1,000. 6,000 to 7,000, 31,000 to 32,000, 218,000 to 219,000. These have 1,000 in between them, so we have to think of 1,000 splitting up. Each of these flats is 100, so half of 1,000 is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Half of 1,000 is 500. So in between here would be 6,500, 31,500, 218,500. Can you notice a pattern with these place values? Half of the tens was 5 ones. Half of the hundreds was 5 tens. Half of the thousands was 5 hundreds. You could probably figure out what half of the 10,000s are going to be. Half of the 10,000s is going to be 5 1,000s, 5,000s. Half of the 100,000s is going to be 5 10,000s. This makes sense because remember, we said it takes 10 of each place to build the next place. So if we want half, we kind of have to go backwards, but we only want to do 5 of them, right? So half of 100,000 is going to be 5 10,000s. Half of a 10,000 is going to be 5 1,000s. Half of 1,000 is going to be 5 hundreds. Half of 100 is going to be 5 tens. Half of the tens is going to be 5 ones. The size of the half depends on the size of what you started with, just like half of a hedgehog's cake would not be the same as half of a puppy's cake. And in this case, half of a place value is always 5 in the place on the right, because we have a base 10 system and half of 10 is 5. So let's see how we solve a problem now with our special guest. Hi!
Hey!
Introduce yourself.
I'm Mr. Reddick. I teach 4th grade at Lead Academy.
Thank you so much for teaching us today.
I'm so excited to be here. I cannot wait.
So, Mr. Reddick, today we're trying to fill in the halfway marks on our numbers because tomorrow we're going to learn to round. So, how do I find the halfway mark of 60 and 70?
So I know I have 60 and 70 on each end, and I know that the numbers are going to be going up by 10. So I know that half of 10 is 5. So my halfway mark is 5 more. So it'd be 65.
Okay, let me mark that. So right here in the middle, I should put a 65. Not a 5, right? A 65.
Correct.
Got it. Okay, cool. What about 600 and 700? Do I put a 5 there too?
No. So I know that 600 and 700 are on both ends. So I got to think, what's half of 100 is 50. So I know that's going to be 650 as my halfway point.
Oh, okay. So half of 100, 650. Got it. Okay. What about 6,000 and 7,000?
So I got 6,000 and 7,000, and I got to think of half. So I know that half of 1,000 is 500. So my half would be 6,500.
Okay. 6,500. 6,000, comma, 500. Okay, the next one got big. 600,000 and 700,000.
Yeah, that is really big. Okay, so I got 600,000 and then 700,000 at the end. Middle of 100,000 is 50,000. So 650,000 is going to be the middle.
Now, what if I don't know the half? Like, what if I'm like, I know it's 100,000, but I'm like, I don't know half of 100,000. Do you have any tricks for me?
Yeah, a really good trick is just to think of halfway. So, like, I noticed a pattern in everything that we were doing. My halfway is always 5 in the place to the right.
Okay, so here was the place, and it was 5 in this place next door. Or here we were in the thousands, and it was 5 in the hundreds. Or here we were in 100,000, it was 5 in the 10,000. Oh, I see your pattern. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Reddick.
Thank you.
So let's try one more example together. This question is asking, what is the halfway mark on the number line below? If I can't immediately see the place values like Mr. Reddick, I can always put my number in a place value chart. Now I can see what the distance is from this number to this number because I can see what place value changed. What is the place value from this number to this number? I can see here that the hundreds place changed. So this is the distance of 100. Now we think of the halfway mark. What's half of 100? If we go back to that flat, half of 100 is 50. But I can also think of 5 in the next place over. So what number is going to go right here in the middle if 50 is my halfway mark? What number is going to go right here? Since 50 is half of 100, my halfway mark is going to be 29,450 because I'm 50 up from this number here. Yay for your super brain! Now we can split cakes, but we can be splitting up numbers too.